While there is no consensus on whether Nigeria is a failed state, it displays many characteristics associated with state failure, including widespread insecurity from groups like Boko Haram and Fulani militias, corruption, and a weak economy. However, some argue that Nigeria is not a fully failed state because it maintains a universally recognized central government and has functional state institutions, though they are challenged by the crisis it faces. Whatever thoughts one has now, the most important thing is to secure lives and property. The administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has performed poorly, especially in the security sector. Though he has taken drastic steps in recent days, such as declaring a state of emergency on national security, expressing willingness to recruit more personnel into the army and police, and what many may describe as audio approvals, including the ban on open grazing announced by his spokesperson, Bayo Onanuga. What Nigerians expect now is concrete action that produces real, measurable results across the country, which will stem the tide of terrorism, killings, kidnapping, and armed banditry. With the recent reshuffle in military hierarchy, a new leadership now stands at the helm of the nation's armed forces. That change offers a chance at renewal, but what matters most is not names or titles, but whether this team delivers real protection for citizens, efficient operations, and restored trust in security institutions. Their leadership must translate into results on the ground, not mere ceremonial gestures. The security situation, however, remains dire. In Iroko, Kwara State, 38 worshippers abducted during a church service were released after days in captivity, while in nearby Isopa, bandits recently abducted residents, including a pregnant woman, nursing mothers, and children. In Kebbi State, schoolgirls previously kidnapped have returned home safely, yet similar abductions continue across multiple states. These rescues, though welcome, only highlight the scale and spread of the problem. Kidnappings, terror raids, and banditry persist because those who plan, finance, and enable them remain largely untouched. In a dramatic but overdue response, the Nigerian Senate recently moved to reclassify kidnapping as a terrorist offense and to impose the death penalty on convicted kidnappers, with no option for reduced sentences. A formal amendment to the Terrorism, Prevention and Prohibition Act was introduced and passed first reading, while an 18-member ad hoc committee was established to review the implementation of the Safe School Initiative, aimed at protecting educational institutions. Other measures included calls for a security team rejig, review of firearms laws, support for registered vigilante groups, and the establishment of forward operating bases along strategic corridors. While these steps are commendable, one cannot ignore that such action is long overdue. For months, even years, Nigerians have witnessed mass abductions, terror raids, and killings. The legislature's role should be proactive, anticipating threats and strengthening institutions before tragedy strikes. Waiting until public outrage peaks is a failure of foresight. Recent rescues offer hope but only underscore a deeper problem. Networks of financing, sponsorship, and silent support for terror and banditry continue unchecked. Unless these networks are exposed and dismantled, both locally and internationally, kidnappings will continue. This effort must extend beyond Nigeria's borders. International money laundering networks, foreign sponsors, and illicit arms traffickers must be hunted down in collaboration with foreign partners if necessary. Guarding resources or forging international alliances is meaningless if wealth flows abroad or into the hands of criminals while the people remain prey to violence. Ordinary Nigerians, regardless of faith or region, are asking a simple question: do we want to continue dying at the hands of terrorists while those with means look elsewhere for profit? Accepting well-structured international counterterrorism support does not equate to endorsing foreign agendas. It is a collective will to survive. The burden of rescuing the nation cannot rest solely on the ruling party. If Nigeria is consumed by violence and chaos, no political group, ruling or opposition, will survive untouched. In a recent press statement, the People's Democratic Party expressed willingness to support the government with workable ideas if the ruling party lacked solutions to end the crisis. That rare display of patriotism should be heeded. Other opposition forces, including the Labour Party and NNPP, must also step up. National survival demands collective commitment. When citizens are slaughtered or kidnapped, political affiliation becomes meaningless. Unfortunately, political preoccupations continue. Rather than focusing on governance and security, the APC seems more interested in absorbing defectors and preparing for 2027. These ambitions are tone-deaf and irresponsible in the face of a national emergency. If citizens die, who will vote or be governed in 2027? Politics must be suspended, governance and security must take precedence. Leadership is not about party expansion, it is about protecting those who entrusted power to you. What must be done immediately is clear and non-negotiable. The government must embark on aggressive financial investigations to trace ransom networks, money laundering, sponsors, and collaborators both within Nigeria and abroad. The new legislation on kidnapping and terrorism must be enforced swiftly, with arrests, efficient prosecutions, and dismantling of criminal gangs. Security architecture must be strengthened with clear operational autonomy and resources for the new service chiefs, while local security responses, including legal, supervised vigilante groups, border controls, and rural area surveillance, must be empowered. Arms control and border security need urgent overhauls to prevent the flow of weapons, while schools, worship centers, and vulnerable communities require immediate protection. Political actors must suspend election season maneuvering to focus on national survival. Nigeria is not failing because the problems are unsolvable. It is failing because its leaders and institutions have lacked foresight, discipline, and the will to attack the root causes of the crisis. Recent legislative measures and rescued victims show there is still time. But time is short. Security must not be reactive, it must be sustained, strategic, and anchored in justice. Lives are more precious than politics, and the nation deserves nothing less. Thank you for listening. Please comment, like, and share.